Video recorded in progress. Shrinking. You good?
Alright, y'all. We're having a bit of technical difficulties, but we are back. And like I said, I hope y'all got y'all drink, whatever y'all gonna have, y'all snack, y'all gonna sit down. We're gonna have a conversation about forgiveness. And what is forgiveness for you or for the other person? And I feel like it's definitely something that is important for you as an individual, and we're gonna talk about it and figure out why that is, and tell a few stories on exactly what it does for you when you forgive someone and when you move forward, how you should move forward, and how to keep things in alignment with yourself. Like, that's like one of my biggest things now. Right now I do have Babe here with me. She's opening wine.
Hey y'all.
And so we finna go ahead and jump on into it. So I've had this topic come up a lot over the past year and a half. I have a tendency, not necessarily to, well, I ain't gonna lie, I do have a tendency to hold grudges for a certain amount of time. So I've learned to let that shit go because that shit fucks you up in the long run. The other person is moving on with the fuck they doing, even if they still fucking people over. They moving on and moving forward. And now you're stuck on this thing, and regardless if they have come to you and have taken accountability, if they have had a conversation with you, when you see someone and somebody shows you who they are, believe they ask. But you forgive them for various reasons. One is for your sanity, for your peace of mind, and to protect your peace and your energy. The other is because people are definitely a product of their environment and who the fuck raised them. So, with that in mind, it makes it a little easier to forgive people for the shit that they do. Now, you may be the lesson that they learn from whatever slight that they caused. However, you may not. They may need to do this stupid ass shit 5 or 6 more times to someone else.
Or they may never change.
And they may never change. So it just kind of is more or less for you. It's something that you realize, okay, this hurt, this was fucked up, this is real shitty. However, this is what it is. And so moving forward, it clears your karma for you, and it just keeps you in a better headspace. Now, I've had a lot of times where people will come up to me and be like, yo, I'm going to be here with this person and we're going to be doing this. You want to come through? I know you don't fuck with them like that, but I know you said you let that shit go, so you good. That doesn't grant them access to you. And here's why. Forgiving them clears your shit. It doesn't mean that they change, though. And so why would you chance that? Also, it doesn't mean that it, like I said, grants them access back to you, because then they'll just do it again. And I feel like the easiest way to figure out if somebody has changed is just to kind of observe them from afar. Remove yourself, see how they moving, see what they doing. And if you notice that they've done the same shit to like 4 other people after you, then you know they ain't changed. So you already know what time it is. Some people you may not know what's going on with them now, and you know, you could probably be in the same space with them, but that doesn't mean you have to have them in your circle. You don't have to have them in your, your space. And that's something you have to explain to other people oftentimes. It's usually not that person. You usually have to explain it to the people that are in affiliation to you and them. So in that case, you just kind of let them know, like, look, I'm past it. Don't mean I forgot it though. And it also means that I just prefer not to deal with this individual. You can do what you want to do. But they've proven themselves to me, and I've taken heed to what the fuck they showed me, and I am removing myself, and I'm keeping it like that. So when people pretend like they don't get that, then I also distance myself from that person, because you can't force a situation that's not working. Like if someone tries to play negotiator or middleman and come and try to be that bridge, bridge a gap. Sometimes that helps. Sometimes that does work if the person has actually, changed and shit.
And sometimes
or remorseful.
It's fuck you and that person.
Exactly. So it's all about, for me, it's all about accountability. And a lot of people don't know how to take accountability because a lot of them did things with ill intent. So they don't want to take accountability. They did what they did and they meant it. And that's another reason why a lot of people don't apologize, because they did what they did because they meant it. Why would they apologize? They know what they were doing and they did it on purpose. I've had people that I removed myself from and didn't have a conversation with. And I did that because either I've already had this conversation with this person several times and they just disregarded how I felt about whatever the fuck it was. And I decided it's no point in continuing to reiterate something that I've already told them that bothered me, and I just remove myself at that point. They know why. There's no reason for me to, harp on some shit that I've already discussed. You are who you are, and I'm gonna leave you there. That's that. I am a firm believer of being around people who either teach me something, elevate me in some way, help me grow, add to me. I pour into them, they pour into me. I'm not one to spend time with people who don't do one of those things. As much as I like to teach people things, are you trying to do some ASMR back here, babe? As much as I try to teach people things, I still learn from people. So I'm not the end all be all. And I feel like my circle is always evolving as much as I evolve. So if I am growing and everybody in my circle is staying the same, then maybe they need different teacher, because I'm not the one to teach them. So I have to remove myself from that space and allow them to go down their journey, down their road for their journey on their own, and I go down my road and on my journey. And not everybody is gonna go everywhere with you. Your best friend that you had in high school ain't gonna be your best friend, and you may not be your best friend in college. So it's just kind of like learning to detach from people and understanding that that's part of life, and it's not a good or a bad thing. Sometimes it's a necessity. Sometimes that's just what it is. And sometimes there's no real rhyme or reason to it. That's just kind of what it is. So that's been kind of like where I've been at with forgiving people, and why I've come to this conclusion on why it's very vital. Now, how do you handle situations with certain people? Now, I've noticed a lot of people will say they let something go, but then they'll like talk about the issue with everybody. I don't do that either. Unless I feel like it's somebody really close to me and they ask, or if this person is painting a negative narrative of me, then I feel like I'm obligated to defend myself. But other than that, I really don't give a fuck what other people think, because you have an opportunity to come over here and find out for yourself about me. So, it's the only time I will speak on shit. I also find it real shitty when people who are no longer friends with somebody feel the need to like tell their business, because you still have to be honorable to the friendship that y'all did once have. And that just goes to say a lot about you and not them. Because why are you telling a bunch of people they fucking business that they told you in confidence? Even though y'all not cool now, you should still uphold that whatever contract y'all had as friends. Now some people will be like, well, once you fucking do me dirty, I'm gonna do you dirty. Well, there is karma that comes with that. So it's just kind of like, do you want a clean slate, or do you want to have to deal with karma that's gonna come back on you now because you being?
That's what the fuck I feel like I'm dealing with.
Yeah, I mean, we've both been in this position a lot the past year, and you got to make sure that you move in such a way that doesn't affect you down the line. And that's been the biggest thing with me with this, because you don't want that shit to come back and bite you in the ass because now you're being spiteful. And it's easy to be that way because people, we are human. So revenge is something that's always something that we feel like we're supposed to, karma is something we feel like we're supposed to serve on people. Sometimes you do serve it by not being in their life. Sometimes they get served and then you get front row seat to see it. So it's just kind of like, I don't ever want that fucked up karma to come back on me. So I've learned my lesson in that. Like, I've definitely been in that situation where I felt like, oh, I'm gonna get your ass back one way or the other. And I've moved in that way, but it's like the older I get, the more I realize certain shit is not really affecting these people, it's affecting me. And it's hindering me. So I've had to kind of like step back, reevaluate, and figure out what I want my outcome to be, what I want going on with me, what I want in my circle, what I want in my space, and then move accordingly. So what you got?
What I got? I don't know. I battle a lot. I feel like on some days I'm not there yet. And it's nice and all to talk about forgiveness being for the other person. I mean for you more than the other person, but sometimes my ass don't want to forgive motherfuckers. I feel like when it comes to me, I'm so open and I be coming in with the purest intentions and shit with people. And once I feel slighted, it's a whole different side of me. And that's just how it is. Like, once I feel like you deserve that side, you get that side. And that's not a side that anybody want to be on. Like, once I feel slighted, it's fuck you. And it depends on what you did to me, on how big that fuck you is. If I feel like you was mature about the situation, or you took accountability, or I truly can see like you're a product of your environment like you say, then I might let it might ride. But when I feel like you full of shit, can't take accountability, none of that shit, and you slighted me, I have no choice but to say fuck you and mean that shit wholeheartedly. And the bigger I feel like people fuck me, the bigger I feel like my fuck you gotta be. So,
I mean, when you say fuck you though, what do you mean by fuck you?
Shit, it could mean a lot of things depending on what you did to me though. Like, a lot of the shit, like my thing is when just how loud I was praising you and motherfucking uplifting you and shit. Once I feel like you didn't shit in my tank or whatever, now I feel like I gotta let motherfuckers know how you had me fucked up. So where you say that after you fall out with somebody and shit, that you shouldn't have to you shouldn't tell their business, I wholeheartedly support that. But once I don't fuck with you, I gotta disassociate with you on every single last level. So if there's motherfuckers that we have that are mutual friends, they gonna know I don't fuck with you. And they gonna know my side of the story, because your side, I don't know what side you telling. And everybody gonna tell the side that probably make them look good, but I'm gonna tell the truth. I tell what the fuck I said, what you said, the fucking truth, everything in the fucking middle. So whatever version of what the fuck you give them, I don't give a fuck. But I'm definitely gonna make sure my side is heard.
That's true.
And I go through, a lot of people like to paint narratives. Like, a lot of people like to use that higher spiritual level of understanding and weaponize it. And weaponize your maturity. And your willingness to not speak on shit.
But see, the thing about that is, you have to know, a lot of people know they're doing it. And you gotta realize that's what they're doing. And it's nothing wrong with you feeling like you gotta speak on your shit, but you can show them better than you can tell them.
That's true.
Because a lot of times, people say shit, and it's kind of like, it's your side, it's your perspective, it's their perspective, then it's the truth, right? And the person who wasn't there, they don't know who's to really believe. So that's why I've kind of come to this space in my life where I'm just kind of like, if I tell you my shit, you just gonna feel like, well, of course you're gonna make yourself look good. You're gonna say this is what happened. And then they're gonna say this is what happened. But let me see how you move. You know what I'm saying? And every time I've done that, I feel like the person that I don't fuck with, the exact shit they've done to them, the people that are in between, neutral, they always either get fucked up, or either fucked over by them, or they find a story that this motherfucker is doing the same shit still. So it ends up coming around full circle, and I didn't have to say shit.
If that is very mature. I'm not there yet. That's just how I feel. That's just how I feel. I feel like I'm not there yet. I feel like, and I think it's because I love so hard and I love so loud and proud as fuck. So once I feel like, it feels embarrassing when motherfuckers take advantage of fucking good-hearted people. So, and when I see you in that light, you disgust me. And there's a lot of shit that comes with that. And that's something that I've acknowledged about me. That I've even told motherfuckers, like, once I feel like you slight me, it's fuck you. And I know that, you know, not good things come from that type of mentality, but that's work in progress. It's hard for me to really forgive people unless you really mean that shit, really take accountability, and really living in your truth. And not everybody is there yet. Not everybody is willing to admit they fuck ups and want to try to change that. So right now, I feel like in this phase, I'm just removing myself to save my own sanity. But forgiving motherfuckers, I don't know. I don't know about that.
There's nothing wrong with saying fuck you either. Like, ain't shit wrong with that. Some motherfuckers deserve that. Fuck you. You know. So I'm just at a space where I'm trying not to let certain shit fuck me up and affect me, because it will. Like, when I'm upset, I know there's nothing, well, I can't necessarily say that though. I can definitely attest to some times I was pissed and raged and some shit flipped. But it's more or less me asking, or you know what? It ain't even me asking, it's me demanding in a passionate way that I want this, that, and this needs to happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm asking the universe for something. But I've had several times where I was like, man, it's fuck about some shit and spaz the fuck out. And I feel like that's human. I feel like that's human, and there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you gotta vent that shit out. You gotta spaz that shit out. No one on this planet has a clean reputation.
Absolutely.
So once you stay in that motherfucker, you can move how you feel like you need to move. Nobody's perfect. So at the end of the day, I have spazzed the fuck out on my shit. haven't seen it.
We come a long way.
So, and people still rock with me because they see that I'm human. I don't sit on this high ass pedestal and try to act like I'm something that I'm not. When I know that I get irritated, I get pissed off, I get annoyed, I get frustrated, just like anybody else.
So this is my question. How would you really define forgiveness?
It's letting shit go. It's allowing myself the peace that I need to keep moving.
So basically cutting cords.
Yeah, definitely cutting cords. Like I said, just because you forgive them does not mean you let them back in your space.
Yeah.
Because you don't know where they at. You don't know how they moving. That doesn't grant. That's where people got shit fucked up. Just because I don't wish you ill will and you can't sit at my table don't mean I don't want you to eat. You just can't sit and eat at my table. You just can't sit over here with me. You can sit the fuck over there. But that's me protecting my peace of mind. Because I've already experienced you. Somebody else may be able to say something different about you. Because you ain't done that shit to them. For whatever reason. That's fine. And I'm not doubting their experience with you.
So,
but this is mine.
And you said that
I'm not fucking with it.
You have issues with like holding. Well, you had issues with like holding grudges.
Yep.
What was the steps that you took to really work through that?
It wasn't really no steps. It was just me realizing, like I said in the beginning, like I'm realizing when I hear people's story. So like I've got people that I'm close to, but they may be like an enemy to somebody else I know. But I don't know that story. But then I'm learning their story. Like I said, some people don't know how to give love right. Some people don't know how to
be a friend.
Some people don't know how to be a spouse. They don't know how to do that because they've never had an example that was real in front of them that was doing it right. And really, what's right, what's wrong, we don't really know. We just know that treating someone with respect and, there's certain things that you're supposed to do when there's a relationship involved, regardless of what type of relationship that is. So we've got a lot of people in our lives that have either been treated shitty by their parents, peers, and relationship situations, and so now they have a vendetta. And now they're addicted to that trauma, that shit. They're afraid to get close to anybody or let anybody in, so they self-sabotage their shit. I've done that before. I think I have a fear of abandonment, so I self-sabotage my relationships sometimes. When I feel like they're getting too safe, too comfortable, too happy, I self-sabotage it early so that I'm prepared for what the outcome will be, so I'm not knocked off my footing. You know what I'm saying? If I do this, I know what the outcome is. I know what I did. It's nothing that's going to surprise me. I think that's what people despise. Being happy, being on cloud nine, and then some fucked up shit occurs and knocks them off their cloud. And they didn't see it coming. But if you do it yourself, you see it coming, you prepare yourself for it, and then you put that wall up. And then you create something, a narrative in your head. You're like, oh, you did this anyway. So, and that's what I see a lot of people do. And they bond with other people who are full of trauma, and then when they meet someone who isn't on that, they've already fucked it up. Thinking that they're going to get done dirty first. So they're like, I'm going to do the dirty deed before you do, motherfuckers. You ain't going to fuck over me. You know what I'm saying? So they don't understand they've actually met somebody who is elevated, who's trying to elevate them. And so they self-sabotage their shit. And that's what we're dealing with. A bunch of people who have been dealing with people who are the product of their environment, whether that be where they're from. A lot of motherfuckers is in survival mode. It's always a competition mode. people don't really know what it's like to work together with people as a team and be fruitful all together. There's no need to compete because, you know, there's the scarcity mentality with everything. Your nigga go outside, you swear up and down, you know he fucking a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he don't text you back in 2.2 seconds. Like, it's this really fucked up mindset that people have. They always think something bad's about to happen. Why can't you have a mindset that you always think something good is going to happen? And a lot of times we create that bad shit ourselves by keep thinking it. What you think of ends up becoming your reality. So, for me, it was a lot of trial and error, doing that self-sabotage shit and bringing that shit into reality when it really wasn't even a reality. Beating myself up about some shit from the past. And learning that, what I said, people are a product of their environment, their upbringing and shit like that. So that's kind of how I was able to try to combat those grudges and shit like that, but that's just something I've always known about myself. Like, once someone crosses me, it's the sting, you know? You get that sting. And I used to at one point wasn't satisfied until you got that sting. Now I'm kind of just like, fuck you. You know, it is what it is. Then I was at a point where I gotta see the sting. So when I heard that you was in some fucked up ass situation, it fucking made me feel real, real good. And so, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that. But other than that, I think that pretty much is where I am in a nutshell on moving forward with not being stuck on the past and not letting shit go. And allowing people to make their own beds and then they have to lie in that motherfucker. I'm not gonna tidy your bed for you. You gotta do that. So, and I get what you mean when you say, you know, you love hard and that's what makes it difficult. And see, that's what turns people, really good people,
cold.
Yep, and fucked up. It makes them turn into the people that they despise, though. So you gotta really sit with yourself and think, do you want to be that same motherfucker you can't stand? Because that's what they are basically turning you into that, if you fall into that trap.
Well,
and a lot of times,
they not.
In a way, they are.
I mean, the only person that has the power to turn is, like you said, is yourself. So
but you are allowing what they did to you
to
win over what you know you should be doing.
But that's because you also sitting in it, like you said.
Exactly.
So again, since we're talking about accountability, it starts and ends with you.
Always. It always starts and ends with you. People cannot make you react. They can provoke you, but that basically shows you what you need to work on. You know what I'm saying? What somebody say about you, if you know how you move, for real, there's no need for you to even defend yourself, because everyone around you has experienced you and they know how you move. The only thing that they're doing is trying to prevent people who don't know you from experiencing you. And honestly, they can't do that either, because they're going to keep hearing about how dope the fuck you are and seeing how you move.
And go see for their fucking
Exactly. Every time. So I've learned that. And so when that continues to happen for me, I don't feel the need to even concern myself with the other motherfucker who did the foul shit, because now you just the one missing out. I'm chilling. Because motherfuckers always try to double back. They always try to double back. Once they realize they fucked up and they heal themselves, even the unhealed motherfuckers try to double back. Just to see if they can come back and manipulate, or to see if you over it and they can come back in your life. Because some motherfuckers are serial manipulators.
So do you feel like there's any certain things that are like unforgivable?
At one point I didn't think shit was I mean, I thought there was a few things that was unforgivable. Like, fucking with my family, fucking with people I care about, trying to slander me. That's some shit that I will end up forgiving because I'm, again, forgiving for myself. However, I won't fuck with you again. I won't fuck with you again. You will be wherever the fuck you at. And I'll just keep moving. There's too many people on this planet for me to be stuck on you. And you've already shown me what type of person you are. And I'm not rocking with it. So why would I continue to be in your space? Like I said, the people around me are either elevating me or I'm elevating them. If there is no elevating within that dynamic, then it's a useless dynamic. Mm-hmm. You can't. It's like two toxic motherfuckers staying together. Nobody is growing. Every time I pour into you, I'm also poking holes in the side of the fucking. You know what I mean? Like, now the water is coming out. The shit's just not. No point. So it has to be an even exchange with people. And when it's not an even exchange, it just starts to feel like very one-sided. And then there's the love. Like, I can love your ass from afar and still not fuck with you. Like, I can have love for you and just not fuck with you. But again, that's because love usually is something that once you love someone, it's kind of unconditional. You can stop liking them, but the love part is kind of unconditional. Mm-hmm. But you could dislike them as a person and what they do. So there's even people that I love that I still deal with from afar, like with a long-handed spoon, and just let them do what they do. But yeah, I feel like this is something that everybody needs to really sit with and try to figure out how to do it. It's a healing process. It's a real ass process. It's some grown ass shit.
It's
like,
grown as hell. I'm not there.
It's some grown ass shit. And it's a difference between being grown and being mature. Yeah. It's a difference between being an adult and being mature.
There's a lot of beautiful things about me, but that motherfucking Scorpio rising, she don't forgive shit. Sometimes she wants to fight. Like, she wants to spite back. And it's hard to just even sit with myself and be like, you know what? This is not the person that I want to become. This is not the shit that I want to do. I really don't want to cuss you the fuck out. I want to continue being this peaceful ass person, but you piss me off. And now I feel real, real petty. Because I want you to feel how the fuck I feel right now. And it's hard getting over that part for me. It's that part for me that I battle with the most. Because the only energy that I ever want to really give out is this light that I feel inside me.
Then do that.
But
there's no but.
Of course there's a but.
There's no but.
Is that sometimes, depending on who you are and what the fuck you did to me, I go back and forth between that. And that's something that I gotta work on and heal from. But yeah, there's a lot of, it's just many times where I just feel like niggas should, sometimes people don't get their lesson until they feel that shit back at them. And sometimes you feel like being the person that they feel.
Then you failed your lesson.
Yeah, of course. But that's
Because
why I
your
said that
lesson-
I'm working on.
Yeah, your lesson is usually staying you in the midst of fucking
But that's the
chaotic people.
thing is that at the end of the day, can you really say that it's on one half it's not me? Because technically all
No.
of this is me. Everybody has light to them and everybody has dark to them.
No, I'm saying, you know the saying that there's two wolves inside and the one that wins is the one you feed.
Sometimes I feel like they need to coexist.
Everybody.
Sometimes I
but if
feel
we
like
all
they need
keep
to
thinking
balance.
like that, if we think like that, then we just gonna have continuous shit shows. You know what I mean?
Sometimes I feel like there just needs to be balanced energy and that sometimes it needs to be a shit show. Sometimes people deserve the shit show. Sometimes they do.
I'm not saying they don't, but at the end of the day, we all are going through our own development, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you are one lesson away from the next stage of your shit, and this motherfucker, you got one motherfucker over here cheering you on, and this other motherfucker is finna be your lesson to see if you can step over that fucking to that next level, and they do some fucked up shit to you. Now you gotta determine, do you wanna go to that next level or you gonna stay down here?
Woo.
We see what's down here. We already know what's down here.
Oh, I know very well.
Okay, so do you wanna stay down here or do you wanna go to the next level?
It depends who it is and what they did.
It shouldn't. Remember, we just talked about it. It's all about you.
Well,
And that's what I had to learn for myself. And you're gonna learn that for yourself. That's what I had to learn. It was to a point where it was like, am I gonna keep letting people pull out the wolf that I don't want to be, or am I gonna let them, or am I going to take control of my reactions? Because feeling what you feel is valid, always.
well, that's usually how as far as it goes.
But the reaction.
Very little
is-
do I allow people to take me out of body and go there. But my thing is like even feeling the way that I feel and not unleashing that shit, be feeling like it hurts.
You gotta
me.
channel. You have to channel that shit. That's what I had to learn to do. So that's why writing is like my shit, because I guess I can add that in there. That's one of the things that I do. I write. Shit. My fucking Instagram is basically my live diary. And sometimes getting the comments from people who've experienced similar like situations and people in their life, having that venting moment with them helps to channel that. And then we end up talking about something else and shit turns into a great conversation. And, you know, or I channel it in another way. I mean, shit, you could do dance. That's what you do. You channel that shit through dance, anger. A whole dope ass, angry ass choreography session. I don't know. But it's all about, that's what we have to learn to master, how to channel our shit. And we haven't been taught that. We haven't been taught that shit at all.
No.
We've been taught to rage.
As a kid, I used to, naturally.
Right? And as a kid, and you know what's crazy? I'm noticing kids naturally did everything the way it was supposed to be done. They were taught shit wrong. A baby didn't know the tantrum until he saw other people do it. I mean, they cry because at the time that's all they know how to do to communicate. And sometimes they don't break from that because they notice it still works. You know, they learn from how you respond. So some parents do this thing where they put the baby in the crib and they don't go to him when they cry. They'll make it cry until it stops. And then when it stops, they go to the baby. And then they stop the baby from this habitual crying, thinking that's how you get someone to do something for you. So it's a lot of breaking habits that we've been taught through the way we were raised and through societal norms and shit like that. It's hard when your whole world around you feels like it always rages. and you the only one being calm in the raging ass storms.
Mm-hmm.
You always got to be the eye of that motherfucker. That shit's not easy.
No.
It's very difficult.
Very.
But it shows discipline. And people, oof. As much as I don't like some of the armies, and well, I'll say military in general, I don't want to just narrow down one. I don't like the military's tactics with the way that they do some things. Discipline is very important. I feel like a lot of people that go to the military gain that discipline. They learn to control them urges that they get. They learn to set some type of standard for themselves for their day to day and shit like that. So yeah, I feel like we as a society have got to start. It starts with us though. I feel like we're the generations that's breaking that shit. We're changing the dynamics. We're changing the way shit is. Slowly but surely.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a whole nother fucking topic. But yeah, so forgiveness. What's today's topic? Sometimes I do give like direct stories, but it's so many different things. It's too many stories to even try to narrow down just one. This is like one of those topics that's really hard to give you one solid story on forgiveness and letting shit go. Like I'll be sitting here all day trying to narrow down one. But I just work on that shit daily. It's not something that is easy, so please do not take me stating any of the things that I stated about growth and being mature as it being an easy task, because it is not an easy task. It is something that takes daily practice. It's something that I have to integrate into my daily life every single day, because somebody does some shit every single day that pisses me off and makes me want to smack the shit out of them or something. So I'm training myself, disciplining myself, restraint, and learning to control my emotions. And then sometimes I even ask myself why certain things make me angry. Certain things people do may not even be about you, and you mad. Like I'll get mad about some shit, but it's a trigger about something from some other situation that somebody else did. This person ain't even doing it on purpose. They don't even know what they're doing, but I'm triggered, and I might spaz. So I'm learning, like, okay, sometimes anger is a trigger of some shit that's like some unhealed wound that's festering and now is coming up to surface for me to heal it. Then there's the case that a lot of us haven't even forgiven ourselves for some shit. Putting ourselves in fucked up situations, being in shitty ass relationships for too long, staying at stupid ass jobs we hate. We beat ourselves up a lot. So if you can't forgive yourself, you definitely ain't gonna forgive another nigga for some shit they did. So self-forgiveness is also probably a tool, or not a tool, but a part of discipline that you need to really start to integrate into your life every day. If you don't, some people beat themselves up if they don't stick to their diet and shit like that. You human at the end of the day still. So reward yourself for when you do what you're supposed to do. And if you don't do it, you didn't do it today. You got angry today. Oops. But if you hurt somebody, apologize. Hey, that was unintentional. Take accountability for it. That's what being human ultimately, I feel like, is. It's learning your shit and taking accountability for it.
That's how I learned how to really forgive my mother. And I think it was in her, because I was so blinded by anger with the shit that I went through growing up. But through her transparency and her honesty, how raw she was when she told her story and where she came from, I could really see that she was, like you said, she was a product of her environment. So it became easier to accept that she's just a product through her. I fucking wrote a fucking play.
Yeah, I remember you told me. And I think that's part of why we're connected, because we both have this we've had this shitty dynamic with our mothers, and this can be something that it affects you. The relationship you have with people in your life, like your mother, your father, grandparents, brother, sister, these things can affect the fuck out of you and your dynamics and how you move with people throughout your life. So that shit has to be face head for, like, you gotta face that shit head on, and you have to heal it, because if you don't, you're going to fuck up all of your relationships moving forward. And that's something I definitely had to learn, because I held a lot of animosity and resentment towards my mom for a while, and I'm still to this day working through shit with her, like with forgiving her, even though, like, and it's hard when the person's still doing it. So I have to remind myself that she still is set in her ways. She's still a product of what she's used to, and society is feeding her a lot of bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. But again, that is a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. I'm hoping y'all definitely got something from this. Closing remarks for today is definitely sit with yourself and figure out what is it that you need to forgive yourself for, what is it you need to forgive others for, and how you need to work through that and move forward in your life and make forgiveness like a priority. But